Here's how we install our balance kit for the DT700 and 900 Pro X. First you want to remove the pads. You can just slide a nail under and clip them off. They come out nice and easily and you'll be able to easily put them back in afterwards. Hook a butter knife or some scissors underneath the plastic rim here and just lever it up. It should clip out no problem. Then you can remove the felt pads and put them to the side. The driver should just tap out, just tap it gently against your hand and the whole driver will slide out. Use a pair of pliers or some other implement to take these wires out. You can use your hands, try to be careful, don't break the wires, but you'll need to break the little bits of glue bonding the wires into the cup. You'll need to do this for both wires. It can take a little bit of force, but be careful not to break them. Once they're both detached, line them up. It should be flat and come together, and that will enable you to unscrew the holder for the 3-pin mini XLR socket. You'll probably need some pliers to do this because it's glued in a little bit, but once you've broken that seal you should just be able to undo the rest of it with a thumb. Now slide this down onto the wires, make sure it stays there, don't remove it at all. Now you can push the socket out and the rest of the work will be done on the outside. So you want to take these little bits of shrink tube off of the wire so you can get access to the solder joints that you'll be working on. It's a lot easier if you put it in a helping hands. And now you can detach all of the wires from the socket one by one. Be careful with this step. It's best to do the smaller wires first to get them out of the way, and then you can work on the bigger ones. Make sure that the clamp stays in there. You don't want the wires to come back in, and for you to lose this, it needs to stay on there because you'll be screwing it back onto the replacement socket. So you can take the little bits of shrink tube off and use the directions to line up the wires. So first you want to tin the old wires, makes them a little bit easier to solder to, and then just use the diagram to match up the colours to the thicknesses of wire. So make sure you get the solder joint nice and hot, then you get a nice wet solder connection. You don't want a dry solder connection because otherwise it'll come apart with vibration. Make sure the solder flows into all the wires and you feel a firm connection. Solder these one by one, take your time and make sure you've done a good job here. Once this is all done, you should be able to slide the 4 pieces of shrink tube up over the joints. This will stop them from shorting. Use a hairdryer or a lighter or a hot air gun to shrink these down over the joints to keep them nice and secure. Once that's all done, you can push the whole assembly back in. There's a flat spot on the socket which will line up with the flat spot on the hole. Once you've done that, you can put the locking ring back on, screw it back on, and then put the cables back into the channels that they came from. You can put a bit of glue back on the top of them if you need to, but they should just hold on their own. Push the wires down so they're flat and out the way, and then you can just pop the driver back in. There's a notch on the side of the driver that will line up with a notch on the side of the casing, and you can pop the felt back on and do the same for the clip ring. Again, there's the same notch and you just need to line it up. The pad also has a notch and it's just another push fit back on. That's it all done. So here's how we install the 4-pin mini XLR connector onto the old wire. So you want to cut off the old connector and expose the wires. Make sure not to cut all the way through. So this won't be making a balanced cable because you only have 3 conductors in here. So tin up the wires. You don't need to cut off the insulation on these. The insulation's so thin that it'll just melt away with the heat of the soldering iron. Tin up all 3 connections and then put the black part of the connector over the cable. Also put the white part on, making sure that the bits that stick out face the ends of the cable. And then you want to tin up the socket too. So to make sure that this doesn't short anything out, we want to solder the middle 2 pins together. So we bend the top pin down into the bottom pin and solder it together to make one big connector. Then you put the black wire to this joined pin. You put the white wire on the left one and the red wire to the right one. You can push the cable back up a bit and then you should be able to slide this over your solder connections, spread the clamp apart and pop it over the cable, making sure it slides up over the plastic part, and clamp it down. Make sure you get it nice and tight to really hold the cable in there. Now slide the gold part all the way down and screw the black part onto the gold part. And with that, you're all done. So this isn't a balanced cable, but it will make sure that you're able to use your old cable, and you'll have a 3.5/6.35 to use. So that's everything. I hope this helped. If you have any questions, email us and we'll do our best to help you out. But that should be everything. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe.